There you can see the karts getting ready to head out for our first final of the day, and it's the Mini 60s, an absolutely breathtaking display of racing that we have seen across the course of the weekend by them. Pole position in qualifying one yesterday, that would set the grids for the qualifying heats that we saw earlier on today, was done by Dan Alleman. He was your fastest man out on track. Priam Bruno was second in qualifying, and he started just behind him all the way throughout this one. But in terms of who's starting on pole position for the final, it is still Dan Alleman. After 2 race wins and a second in his qualifying heats over the course of the day, he has got Leonardus Peruzzi alongside him this time. Leonardus, who had 2 third-place finishes and a second place, has got a tall order because this time he starts on the outside of the front row. So that's the only challenge he's got. Priam Bruno this time around has probably got a better starting position. He starts third, right behind Dan Alleman after his second place, a win, but a 7th place in the second heat out there as well. Conor Mayer has had a pretty decent day as well. He's moved himself up into the second row of the grid, starting P4. He's had a 5th, 6th and a 4th over the course of his qualifying heat, so he's had a relatively calm, collected, well-controlled set of racing. No real bad results there, always up in where he needed to be. Same with Liam Carr as well. He's gained positions all the way throughout this one. He started, he finished 6th in his first one, 4th in his second, and 5th in his third. So again, he's always been around that area and battling in that one. Can he improve going into this one here? And the same with Alessandro Truchot as well. The American had a good first couple of results as well in qualifying heat 1 and 2 with a 4th and 3rd. Qualifying heat 3 wouldn't go his way though, the American finishing in P9, so big shame for him on that one. But the rest of the field though, still having pretty decent races. We've had a couple of red flags in the Mini 60 category, but thankfully I can report that the drivers are okay. There was minor injuries, bumps and bruises to the drivers, but we do wish them all the best and we hope to see them out in this one or maybe even later on as well. The guys from Powerland doing an absolutely brilliant job here this weekend, providing all the chassis for our drivers to go racing on. Brilliant to have them on board. Great to have them as one of the chassis suppliers going here. They teamed up with TM engines to provide the GR3 engines that you can see that are bolted onto these Powerland chassis. But all the way throughout this weekend, it has been absolutely superb to see all of these karts in fine working order. There, though, is your man starting this one on pole position. It was pole position in qualifying yesterday in Q1. That determined where he started for his qualifying heats earlier on, and they've been pretty smooth sailing for him all the way throughout. Like I said earlier, 2 qualifying heat wins and a 2nd place, securing near maximum qualifying heat points. Can he take the championship points though at the end of this one? That's what they've been playing for. The intermediate classifications now are gone. They're void. They mean nothing. It's only to determine where they start for this final race. Now it's all down to championship points and who gets the most out of this one. Starting alongside him, though, Leonardus Peruzzi, who starts on that front row. Again, he's had a brilliant set of race results as well. So he had a 3rd, 2nd and 3rd as well, like we said earlier on. The number 20, certainly looking forward to seeing what he can do. There, a little further down the order, is Pazzuto, who still had another good run. Now, where is he starting on the grid? He's a lot further down on my piece of paper. Enna Pazzuto there, 15th place on the 8th row for the Italian driver. Hopefully he can make a good run. Got Ray Heber alongside. He's got Lorenzo Zucchetto in front and Oliver Warner in front as well. There is our race director, Nigel Edwards. Martin Bean, there we go. He'll absolutely murder me for calling him that. But yes, Martin Bean getting himself primed and ready to go for this one. It's been a busy old day of racing. He's had a lot of work ahead of him as well. So certainly looking forward to seeing what is going to happen at the end of this one. Final few checks are being made before we get going for their longest race of the weekend so far. These races for the Minis will be 16 laps, and this will determine who is going to get the maximum championship points at the end of this one. Will it be Dan Alleman? Will it be Leonardus Peruzzi? Will it be Priam Bruno? Or will it be Conor Mayer, the front row? It could be anyone of this grid. We just don't know. But certainly it's been a superb day for many of these drivers. But the only 2 drivers to take the wins in the class have been Priam Bruno and Dan Alleman. Can anyone else get their first win of the weekend, and can they do it in the final? There you can see everyone primed and ready to get going for this one. Spectators are happy. Viewers are happy at home as well. Drivers are happy. I think everyone has really jumped into this weekend with open arms. It's been absolutely fantastic, and everyone has just been sorted, ready to go. There is Priyan Bruno, who now gets himself ready to go for this race. Like you say, took a race win in the last qualifying heat, so he knows how to pedal around this track. Second and a 7th in his second heat as well, so that is going to be the biggest challenge for him, whether or not he can really push this one up further. But again, for the rest of the grid, it certainly is going to be an exciting one as well. For Liam Carr, the Australian, who starts this one on the 3rd row of the grid, he's certainly going to have a good one as well. But there, Connor Mayer is another driver that you've got to watch out for, the Australian. He has certainly had that good day. Like we were saying, 5th, 6th and a 4th. He's just been slowly moving up the order. Can he make it a 3rd, or can he go for 2nd or 1st as well? We just don't know. Only time will tell at the end of these 16 laps of racing. There is not long to go now for our drivers, but we will find out. There he is, Liam Carr, who's always happy, smiling, with waving his arms around. He is ready to go for this one. Again, he has just been improving as the races go on. A 6th, 5th and a 4th. Can he change that to a potential podium in this one? Because it's going to be a good one. There we go. Dad's got the strong arms there, like we like to see. I'm sure he's not as strong as you, though, Liam. Alessandro Chichot starts alongside him, though. Again, the American, who has had, again, an up-and-down day, like we were saying, 4th, 3rd, and a 9th earlier on. So the 3rd qualifying heat wasn't the best one that he would have wanted, but it was still a relatively decent result as well. The rest of the grid as well wanting to gain good positions from this as well in the 3rd qualifying heat as well for the row behind. Pierre Aboudivan also has been having some good results. Pierre, where did he finish in his last one? He did finish P15, but he certainly gained good positions in the other circuits. Sun is beginning to set here. It is late afternoon, sort of say starting the evening now. We are approaching 4:30 here. There is Pierre Aboudivan, who's ready to get going for this one. Very keen to see what he can do in this final. He has certainly improved his starting position throughout the weekend. At the end of qualifying, where did he qualify? Pierre, he qualified 10th, and now he's moved up into 7th. So he's gained 3 places over the course of the qualifying heat. So certainly a very good run. He will have Nikita Djalilov starting alongside. Now, Nikita, unfortunately, has dropped down a few positions, qualified 6th, and now after the qualifying heat, it's just dropped down into 8th. So it's not a big drop. It's only one row, so he's still in a good spot here, and he's still been having some good starts. So I am curious to see what he can do in this one as well. He is on the outside row, though, so he will have that going against him. Aryan Singh starting alongside as well, the number 15, who has had some up and down races as well, but crucially has gained a position in this one. Only a couple, again, qualified in P12, now pushes himself and starts this one P9, so still gaining positions throughout there from qualifying 1 yesterday, so crucial to see what he can do in this one. You have got next to him Derek Rivera as well. Derek has had a good one, qualified 14th yesterday, now up 4 positions at the end of the qualifying heats. He starts this one P10, so just in that top 10 on the 6th row of the grid. And again, we have seen some good results from that spot of the grid. We've seen good results from the back of the grid as well, so certainly is going to be an interesting challenge for a lot of our drivers. That is Aryan Singh, who is getting himself ready to go for this one. And again, good results all the way throughout. I am curious to see who is going to come out on top for this one, because there has just been ups and downs throughout. There's been interesting races, there's been challenging ones, there's just been calm ones as well. It's been a real mixture for the Mini 60 category. But the finals, they will be the first, and they will certainly determine and set the waypoint for the rest of the races here this weekend to see what will happen. That is Derek Rivera, who starts alongside just in that top 10, who starts this one in P10. We'll have the close company of Oscar Singh just behind and Ava Lawrence just behind as well. 3-minute board goes up then, and we are nearing the start of this race. It's the first final of the weekend out of 2 that these drivers will face for the Champions of the Future Academy program, the first of many. Remember, there are some good things coming these drivers' way at the end of this weekend if they do well, so plenty of motivation to get good results in these finals. And the last few checks and getting yourselves ready. I can imagine the nerves really start to kick in now. You get butterflies in your stomach and everything. It was always a thing for me when I was karting, when I was young. It would be, you know, you get the nerves in the system and everything. But as soon as your helmet's on, as soon as the visor goes down, as soon as the engine fires up, you get focused, you get ready, and you just get on with your job. Oscar Singh as well, the Australian, who starts just behind as well on that row. Starts this one, P11, the 6th row of the grid. Really curious to see how he gets on. He's used to starting in this position. This is where he qualified as well. So his qualifying heats have just been consistent. He has not gained anything, but he has not lost anything, which again is probably a harder thing to do than anything. So he's still having a good run. Ava Lawrence, who starts alongside as well, the number 25, who starts this one, P12. Certainly has had some up and downs throughout the day, but has still gained plenty of positions in this one. Qualified P22, now starting P12. So gaining 10 positions through the course of the qualifying heat certainly is a fantastic achievement for Ava Lawrence, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how she does out on track. But the rest of the grid as well, very, very close in terms of anything. Really surprised with Oliver Warner as well. He's gained several positions as well after a tummy bug as well. But starting alongside him is Lorenzo Zucchetto as well, the driver from Switzerland who is joining us here. He starts this one on the 7th row of the grid. He's had a good run as well because he qualified 18th, so he certainly gained positions in this one, and he will have Oliver Warner alongside the British driver who I think, yes, had a stomach bug at the beginning of this one, so was feeling a little bit poorly, but certainly is feeling a lot better now and has done exceptionally well. He's gained several positions after he qualified very low down, which was a big, big shame. Qualified 17th and now up into 14th, so gained good positions in this one. Curious to see how he gets on. There is confirmation of the laps, 16 laps in total as we get ready to go. The 30-second board has come out. Martin Bean, our race director, just confirming one more thing before we get going. For the first final here at the Alphasan International Sports Resort Kart Track, we are ready to go racing. 16 laps for Mini 60 for their first final of the weekend. And remember, championship points up for grabs at the end of this one. The first of 2 finals over the weekend. Here we go, Mini 60, it's the final. Let's take you through the starting lineup. Dan Aleman and Leonardo Speruzzi starts this one on the front row of the grid. Priyan Bruno and Conor Mayer on row 2 from Liam Carr and Alessandro Truchot. Then it's Pierre Abudivan from Nikita Diablyov on row number 4. Then it's Aryan Singh from Derek Rivera, Oscar Singh from Ava Lawrence, Lorenzo Zucchetto and Oliver Warner on row 7, Enna Pizzuto and Ray Heber on row 8, from Fares Harion and Min-jae Kim on row number 9. Akita Mir from Achilles Peruzzi on row 10. Luca Thuril on Koda Singh on row number 11. Sofia Pavaznia and Ari Kallenberg, they go from row number 12. Veer Chopra and Mikhail Abubakar on row 13. Niels Malik and Aaron Bufa on row 14. Yuvrad Mehta and Victoria Fafas on row 15, and they round out the top 30. Aurelio Longlitato and Baptiste Augustine on row 16. Francisco Huerta and Mr. Nass, who unfortunately has had retirements in all 3 of his qualifying heats. Start this one, shot down at the back of the field. Hopefully he can make some good moves up in this field. He should have the best tyres out there because he's not done many laps, which is unfortunate for him, but it does mean that he has that advantage going into this one. He should have fresher tyres than the rest of the drivers out there. But for this man here, Dal Aleman, the pressure is on his shoulders. He's not won all of his heats. He finished second in his last one. Priyan Bruno took the honours in that one. Is Priyan Bruno going to do the same thing this time around in the final? We will have to find out as the drivers prime themselves ready. This is the last time they will use this set of tyres this weekend. They've been run right to their core all the way throughout. You can see all the rubber and the marbles that have gone down on the circuit, so you can imagine the time should get faster, but with the tyres degrading, it might be a challenge. Red lights are on at the front then as we get ready to go racing for the first time. It's Dan Aleman on the left-hand side of your picture, Leonardo Speruzzi on the right-hand side. Who is going to get the whole shot down in towards turn number 1? We are about to find out as drivers make their way out of turn 15 in towards 16. They go past the red line now. all formed up, ready in positions. One driver just out of position there. That was the number 37. I just saw that is Oscar Singh, who needs to get back into formation. Oh, but he's overtaking past the red line. He might get in trouble for that one, and this might be a false start. It's not. It's a green start, and off we go racing, and it's a good start from Dan Alaman, who gets a good getaway, and it's a good start from Priyan Bruno. Jumps straight into second place. No time wasted there whatsoever. Looks like Liam Carr has gained a good position as well. He's up to P4, and Leonidas Peruzzi is there in third place. So, yeah, good start then for Peruzzi, but he does lose out in one position, and that's the downside for starting on the outside row. You just can't get the car back onto the inside. So it's a top three breakaway at the moment. Dan Alaman from Priyan Bruno and Leonidas Peruzzi, they're in third place. From Liam Carr in fourth, who's just trying to hold on. He's in a bit of a no man's land at the moment on this opening lap, but no drama there from him whatsoever. Looks like it's still a good start for Conor Mayer. Only one position lost there. He's there in P5, so still with a good start to his race as well. So everyone getting through the first lap relatively unscathed. They've got a couple of tight corners left to go here, but no changes for the top three through the lap. Only the change at the start. Across the line they go, and it is Dan Alaman who leads the way from Priyan Bruno, Peruzio. Then it is Carr, Mayer, Abadivan. Then it's Bouchard, Singh, Lawrence, and this driver tumbling down the order in this one. Anna Pizzuto, unfortunately, has dropped down into 26th place. It's not been the start that they'll have wanted. That is a big, big shame. Mikhail Abubaker gaining 11 positions on that first lap. That is a brilliant start as well for Baptiste Augustine. Also 14 positions gained, the same as Nasar Nurse. This is a brilliant start. 13 places gained in this final on the first opening lap, same as Francisco Puerta. Also 11 positions gained. Eyes on the top three still. No changes as the train starts to begin. This is what we'll see in these finals. You'll get drivers who will work together now. They will try and open up a gap. They will try and break away from the rest of the field, but will they continue this momentum all the way throughout the 16 laps? We will have to wait and see as the light starts to fade here at the Alphasan International Sports Resort Kart track. It has been a beautiful day of racing. And right now it all falls down to this one, the first final of the weekend. And again, no change for our top three. They stayed line astern. It's kicking off in the background though. I say it changes. Now it changes down the inside. Peruzzi to the inside of Priyan Bruno, and he gets up into second place. Nicely timed, nicely calculated, wasting no time there whatsoever, and now can go on the chase for Dan Alaman. So the first chink in the armoury between the top three. Are we going to see any more of this as the drivers behind begin to close up? Now it looks like Liam Carr's got some clean air, and off the track there goes the 41. It's not gone well at all, and it means the end of the race for Baptiste Augustine, who gained so many places in that opening lap. That is not what you want to see in the final, and that will be no championship points. Remember, it is only the top 15 that get championship points. So if you don't finish in the top 15, you do not get anything going your way. Now, Oscar Singh is under investigation. Now, were they close to each other out on track, which is why we see the retirement there of Baptiste Augustine. I think they were somewhat in a similar pot, but I will not speculate. We'll just see what happens. Top three, though, clean breakaway now for Alaman, Peruzzi and Bruno. Jostling in the background there. There you can see Liam Carr just making his way through. Singh still there as well from Trushot. Warner with a good start as well. Up 7 places for Oliver Warner into P7. This is a good run here. And this is another retirement from the looks of it now on our screens. Now, potentially not sure who that is. Yes, Michael Abubaker is under investigation as well. So drivers under investigation, possibly for the start as well. And I believe that driver was actually one of the drivers involved earlier on. So I think that was Baptiste Augustine, who was just walking back to their position. No change then at the top three. They stay the same, but the battle in fourth place, that seems to be heating up just that little bit now. Liam Carr is under pressure from Aryan Singh. Alessandro Trushot is still there as well as Oliver Warner. They are all trying to push their way through that one. The top three, though, still very, very close as they continue. They may continue this trend all the way throughout, but people know with the fastest up of the race looking very, very strong as well. Battles happening in the further reaches of the race here. This is Francis Harion, who's battling away, the number 46. They're doing a good job. So on lap 5 of this final. And again, these top 3 just doing what they need to do here, working together, opening up the battle buffer that we like to see and hear about in these races. They won't push each other too hard. They'll just try to keep pushing each other along, breaking away from the rest of the field. You'll see on the last couple of laps, you'll see that's when they'll go to work. That's when they'll start defending. That's when they'll start attacking all the way throughout this one. But right now, they are just doing what they need to do. This is the battle though for P4. Liam Carr still leading that one, and it looks like Alessandro Cucciano's got up into P5 now, past Ollie Warner. So Oliver Warner back down one more position there. You can see the number 23 under pressure from Alian Singh as well. Ava Lawrence just at the back of this one, trying to get through. You can see there with the blue helmet going through. The blue and yellow is Ray Haber just trying to get involved as well. So they're all just trying to copy really what these 3 here are doing, as it's all actually changed at the front here now. So while they're off camera, that's now Leonidas Peruzzi who leads the way. So Peruzzi leads from Priam Bruno, so they've both got past Dal Adaman. So Alaman's now down into 3rd. Right, okay. This is a development because Alaman here really needs to get back in front. He's been dominant all the way in these early stages, and now this is the first time he's even been into 3rd place. The lowest has been his 2nd. He will not like this whatsoever. He tucks in as much as he can to try and stick with that slipstream, but he's got to be careful here because he's opened up a fraction of a gap now between himself and Peruzzi and Bruno. So they possibly here could break away if they really, really wanted to here. They've really got to push. But Dal Adaman's got to work super hard here with Bruno setting the fastest lap of the well as well. He's going to go for the lead. That's going to bring Dal Adaman back into it. That's exactly what Adaman needed. So Bruno takes the lead and Adaman dives to the inside here at turn 8 on Peruzzi and gets back up into 2nd place. And crucially, straight away, he says right to Leonidas Peruzzi, just saying, right, let's keep going. Let's go. Let's close this gap. Do not let Bruno break away. And they have done exactly that. They've latched onto each other and they have closed that gap instantly before they've even ended the same lap. So big changes then in these opening stages, and we are seeing battles happening very early on in this race. Will allow potentially the drivers behind to close in as Truchot's got back up into 4th place now. Looks like Liam Carr's dropped down to 8th on that last lap as they run very wide in the background there. They've got to be careful. So big changes in that group as well. But Truchot holds on to it. Change again at the front as back down the inside goes Dal Adaman. Retakes the lead. This will allow the group behind to slightly close in. We'll keep an eye on the gap. It's about 4 seconds now. If they keep battling at the rate that they are, that battle will close in. So this could be a close final. Again to the inside. Leonidas Peruzzi gets back up into 2nd place, and Bruno has to go down to 3rd. And again, they just say, right, it's my turn to get in front. Let's see if we can try and close up the gap again. But you're all close to each other. All you're doing really right now is just allowing the group behind to close in. Remember, across the line last time, it was exactly 4 seconds. Are they still gaining time doing this, or are they losing it? Because they're still battling behind as well. As I can see, positions have changed once more. I think it's Ollie Warner who's now up into 4th place. So both groups are still battling. No one's gaining any time, but we're seeing a brilliant 3-way fight here for the race win. The gap did come down. It went down 0.2 of a second, but it's still 3. No, actually, it's gone up. It's gone to 4.7. So, yeah, update again as Peruzzi to the inside. Gets it done through turn 3. Nicely done. We are going to see these 3 battle all the way throughout this one as Dal Adaman sets the fastest lap of the race. And immediately he's going to go back to the inside. And Priya Renault's going to follow as well. Did he get that done down the hill? He did. And they go 3-1. There's wheel-to-wheel contact between Adaman and Peruzzi as they keep going. It's very, very close between them. But these 3 are absolutely battling tooth and nail. And it will allow these drivers to close in. That's the first time we see an overtake there, and Peruzzi goes wide onto the marbles, and he's lost it. He's lost all the time he gained earlier on, and now he's got to close that big gap up. That's the first time we've seen a driver get squeezed onto the marbles there, and it just shows how little traction there is out there. And for Leonidas Peruzzi, he has dropped down into 3rd now, and he's got a huge gap to try and close up now with these top 2. But I suspect that Adaman and Priam Bruno will just work together now. You saw there Dal Adaman check over his shoulder, and he saw that Peruzzi had dropped right back, and he's just saying, right, let's go. Let's try and keep that gap up, because there is no way that Peruzzi has got the slipstream now. He is going to have to dig deep here, Leonidas Peruzzi, to get back up to these top 2. But if they start scrapping, he might have the opportunity to do it. The gap behind, again, did close in as drama here, and that's Min Jae Kim, who's unfortunately had a coming together with another driver. Now that looked like that was Oscar Singh there, potentially the 37 that they had a contact with. Just trying to see. No, I don't think it was. We'll update that one when they next cross the line to see who that was. But eyes on these top two. And again, they're just going to try and work away. Now, Peruzzi is 1.4 seconds behind this. What is it on the next lap? Has he closed in by himself? Or is he just falling behind here? That's going to be the ultimate question. It was 1.4. They cross the line now. It's 1.3. Peruzzi is closing in by himself here. This is brilliant stuff, but it's still a long way to go. We are on lap 11 of 16 here. Time is running out. And it could just be a two-horse race here between Aleman and Priyan Bruno. Aleman, it was pole position. He dropped down into third at one point. Priyan Bruno as well has had some brilliant results. He dropped down to third in the qualifying heats. He had to push hard in this one, and he has done just that. He closed that gap. He gained everything he needed. He is in this lead battle, but he has just got to be careful if he wants to go for the overtake, which he will. It's the final. It's not a qualifying heat. We saw these two line astern in qualifying heat one, and nothing happened between the two of them. They stayed line astern. They pushed each other along, and that was that. But that was the first qualifying heat. It meant something, but it didn't mean a lot. This is the final. This means a lot. There's championship points up for grabs here, the same as tomorrow. You need to finish on top to help you benefit all the way throughout this. With there only being two as well, with the regulations, if there is a tie on points, which is very easily done, let's say that Aleman wins this one, Priyan Bruno comes second, and it's the opposite way tomorrow in the final, their points would be exactly the same, and it's done on whoever had the most seconds or thirds or anything like that. So having the higher positions in these sections is crucial. So you really need to make sure you have some good results in these finals. Again, checking over the shoulder there for Dan Aleman just to see what's happening. The gap's come down a little bit more between Peruzzi and Bruno. It's down to 1.2 now. So Peruzzi is closing in by himself, and as soon as Priyan Bruno goes for the move, it will close in very, very quickly. Warner's still there in fourth place, though, from Liam Carr. He's got back up into P5 as well from Haber. Singh still there from Mayer. Lawrence from Rivera. Singh from Abu Divan, who's rounding out the top 12. Achilles Peruzzi is there in 13th place. He's had a good recovery drive there as well from Ziazilov, who's there in 14th place. Naz, who's having a brilliant race after 3 DNFs in the qualifying heats. It's up to P15. That's a brilliant run for Nassar Nas. He's having a fantastic one. Pizzuto is still there in 16th place from Suketo in 17th. Singh from Harion and Guetta as well in 20th. Brilliant driving all the way throughout. And Priyan Bruno with the fastest lap of the race. He's got the slipstream. He's got the drive. He's got the push. Can he get past, though? That's the question. As they still go line astern, quick checks over the shoulder for all of them, and the gap again is just creeping here and there, but it's back up to 1.3. So again, he's matching the pace. He's not dropping, but he's not really gaining at this point now. He really needs these two to start battling, and right now, that's just not happening. Now, Aurelio Longetano has just received a warning flag as well, so I'll have to be careful with number 35 being watched. But right now, it's all down to what these drivers can do here. Aleman from Bruno, but it's still there. Warner all on his own. There's a retirement now for the number 47. That is Alessandro Touchot. Unfortunately, he started 6th place, find himself all the way at the back of the grid and in Parc Ferme. That is a big shame for the American, who had a brilliant run of racing today. A 4th, 3rd and 9th with his worst result, and in the final it goes even worse. Remember, the top 15 in this one get the championship points, and right now it is Pizzuto who is in that bubble at the moment in P15. But right now it will determine what happens tomorrow really here with the finals, because right now this is the first bunch of championship points they will win. Only a handful of laps to go now. We're on 14 of 16. And it's still Aleman from Bruno. No change between the two of them here. They have just been waiting for the right opportunity. You've got to be thinking, what is Priyan Bruno thinking at this point? Where can I go for the attack? And we've seen the lunges here through turn 12. We've seen the moves in towards turn 16, into turn 3, in all the places around the track. But right now, he's just thinking of where to go. Now, the gap's opened up a little bit now. It's down to, it's up to 3 tenths of a second now, so this is not what he needs. Bruno needs to try and close in here. But these tyres are well used. They've done qualifying, they've done 3 qualifying heats, and now this final. And this track is a long, twisty one. It's very demanding on the tyre. And I can imagine these drivers are struggling somewhat. You can see now that we're actually closing in on some back markers here. And at the moment there for Dan Alaman, absolutely sideways, super committed. And just shows the small adjustments that he's doing there. Big moment there for Dan Alaman going over the curb, but despite that, still managing to open up that gap. It's closed now though. And Renault back right bumper to bumper between the two of them. Out of the final corner again, and we go on now to the last lap. And well, you can see there a hand signal from Priyan Bruno just saying, do not worry about me, you just keep going, do not start battling, do not stop defending, because I do not want Peruzzi behind to try and close in, who's done a fabulous job himself of sticking with these two. Gaps remain the same, but Priyan Bruno, with the fastest lap of the race as well, is looking at collecting that extra championship point as well. Remember, there is an extra championship point for fastest lap. At the moment, that is Priyan Bruno with that 1 minute, 0.959. Now they are catching up to the back of some back markers here. They will have to be careful into this tight, twisty section. And now we're seeing an attack here in towards turn 10. We've not seen an overtake here yet this weekend. And that was very close there for Bruno. He would look to the inside, but Alaman just had to go later on the brakes there. And amazingly, kept it within the track. That was beautiful driving, and that was the first and only attack I think we're going to see. But now Bruno is under pressure from Peruzzi. Peruzzi is right behind, but there's no real opportunity to get it done now. It will be line astern across the line, and it will go the way of Dan Alaman across the line. It was pole, 2 qualifying heat wins, and a final. You can certainly say that day one here at the Academy Trophy has been, the Academy program has been absolutely spot on for Dan Alaman. Absolutely superb driving all day, and can he repeat it tomorrow? We'll have to find out later on, and we'll find out tomorrow. But Dan Alaman, 16 laps of racing, he takes the win by 0.4 of a second from Priyan Bruno. Leonidas Peruzzi takes third place, very close, closed the gap up to absolutely nothing between himself and Priyan Bruno, 0.4 of a second behind Dan Alaman at the end. Liam Carr gets back up into 4th place as well. He takes that one from Conor Mayer, who finishes in P5. Ollie Warner finishes in P6 after gaining 8 positions. Ray Hubbard finishes in 9th place after 7th place after getting 9 positions. Ava Lawrence finishing in 8th place after gaining 4. Aryan Singh in 9th from Derek Rivera, rounding out the top 10. And the rest of the field as well. Achilles Peruzzi finishing in P11, gaining 9 positions, gaining those championship points as well as Pierre Abadivan, who finished in P12. Nikita Dazalov, who finishes in P13 from Nassar Nas. Brilliant drive after the 3 DNFs. Finishes in the points in P14 after gaining 20 positions. That is a solid drive. Sofia Pavaziana finishes in P15 after gaining 8 positions. A superb drive there. But for your top 3, Dan Alaman, Priyan Bruno, and Leonidas Peruzzi, a brilliant drive, a brilliant result, and that's certainly a fantastic way to end their first full day of racing here in Abu Dhabi. They will make their way back into Parc Fermé, and there you can see the congratulations. That's the first half of the weekend done then for Dan Alaman. He has got a full day tomorrow to see if he can maximise his points here and go away with the full win at the first ever Champions of the Future Academy program. A brilliant drive for Dan Alaman. Professional drive as well, not cracking under pressure. And the same for Priyan Bruno as well. A superb drive from him as well. Taking away 2nd in the final, is in a good spot going into tomorrow as well. It's really down to these 3. They have been in a league of their own over the course of this weekend, with Leonidas Peruzzi as well, also with a 3rd place finish. A superb drive for your top 3. And the entire field as well. Can't take anything away from them. And even at the end of it, probably wanting to keep an eye on what happened in that one. Well, here we go then. Here is some of the looks here, and there were drivers under investigation for the start of that one, and the 37 was one of them, Oscar Singh, who was just out of position there going into it and looking like it was overtaking at the start. And there were drivers actually calling for a go-around in the middle of the pack there, but the green lights would go out, and that would catch some drivers sleeping there. Liam Carr looking like it was going to the inside there for P3 on Leonardo Spruzzi, not able to get it done. Then we had the 3-cut breakaway, Dan Aleman leading the way from Priam Bruno, from Leonardo Spruzzi. It would be like that nearly the entire race, but they would chop and change. Liam Carr there just in the background watching them battle, but powerless to do anything about it. That was the first chink that we saw here as Dan Aleman had to go defensive there from Priam Bruno. That left the door open for Spruzzi just to have a look down the inside. Nothing happened there, but again, it would happen the next lap as he would go down the inside through turn number 3. Up into 4 again, another angle of it, and again, just well-timed and calculated. Prime place for overtaking that we've seen all the way throughout, and then again, they get it done in towards turn number 7. Both of them get through. Aleman powerless to defend that one, but he would get his way later on. That would be the lowest he would ever run in a race so far this weekend, down into P3 for Dan Aleman. He certainly wouldn't be happy with it, and he wouldn't wait long before he gets back up into 2nd place after Priam Bruno gets the move done on Spruzzi. And Spruzzi would drop down into 3rd. Aleman back to the lead on lap 8, and Priam Bruno would just drive away with them. It would then be the next bit that would certainly shake things up, because they started to battle again furiously on this lap. They were chopping and changing all the way throughout, and it would end with your man in 3rd place, unfortunately, running wide. He would get to the lead at this point on lap 9, but from here it would then start to go downhill just a little bit, getting squeezed out wide there, but keeping it on the inside, wheel to wheel, bashing there as they would go through. Aleman trying to hold that inside line, but then it would happen through here. He would check over the shoulder and then would just lose touch there. The slipstream would kick in, gets squeezed out onto that dirty stuff, unable to turn in, and he just sweeps out wide. That is the power of the marbles out there on circuit. You've got to be careful that you do not get squeezed onto that one. He would have to fight back all the way to the end of that one. Big moments, though, on the curbs for the final corner for Dan Aleman, but on the final lap, he would just push away with Priam Bruno. There would be an attempt in towards turn 10 from Priam Bruno, but it wouldn't be enough, and he would stay there in 2nd place, and it would go the way of Dan Aleman, who finishes that one on the top spot. Pole in qualifying, 2 qualifying heat wins, and the final win. He takes it, he's delighted, he's happy. He will go to sleep with a big smile on his face, and he'll be primed and ready tomorrow to hopefully, he will think, do the same.
What a final that was for the Mini 60 categories. We'd like to welcome onto the podium Gwen Legru, the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 Team Driver Advisor, to present the trophies to our top 3 drivers. In 3rd position, please give a huge round of applause for Leonardo Spruzzi. In 2nd position, the 2nd place trophy goes to Priam Bruno. And finally, your race winner after an absolutely fantastic final all the way through today, Dan Aleman. We'd like to welcome any photographers to come up front and centre, grab photos of our top 3, and we'd like to invite everyone, all of our dignitaries, onto the podium as well to join the drivers in the photos. If we could get all of our top 3 onto the top stop of the podium, guys, join us all at the top. And some nice big smiles. Trophies in the airs as well, guys. Nice big smiles. And please give a huge round of applause for your top 3 in Mini 60.